Bill lives in Rochester, Michigan, and is here today with his wife, Barbara. So I would like to welcome Mr. Mihalic.
Thank you, Jean. I'll move over here. Good afternoon. Jean tells me that you are a very, very active group of seniors, not just physically with the Olympics and such, but also intellectually, educationally, wanting to learn new things. So I thought you'd like it if we started this program with a little history lesson, right? In fact, I'll bet most of you on your drive over here this morning thought, gee, I hope they start with a history lesson.
Yeah.
So today, as you know, is February 1st. So I did a little research and I went back to find interesting things that happened on this day in history. And I'd like to share a few of these with you. Okay, back in 1587, way back then, we're not going to go through each year one at a time. 1587, Queen Elizabeth signed the death warrant for Mary Stuart, Queen of Scots. She signed her death warrant because Mary was challenging Elizabeth to the throne of England. As you might know, Hollywood made a movie about that feud in 2004. It was called Mean Girls. Yeah, they changed a few of the historic details, but it was generally true to the script. Well, fast forward to February 1st, 1864, the Civil War. General Ulysses S. Grant, on February 1st, he, in an ill-fated attempt to encircle the Confederate troops, he initiated the ill-fated Battle of the Yazoo River, Battle of the Yazoo. And after that failure, President Lincoln sent him a message saying, "You idiot, I just told you they had soldiers up the wazoo." And there's a company called Mars One that plans on establishing the first colony on Mars. And last year, they released the list of 100 finalists for the one-way voyage to the Red Planet. And they said that those 100 finalists came from an initial list of 200,000 candidates, again, for a one-way trip. And they said that most of those candidates had been nominated by their in-laws. And also on business in Detroit, Detroit authorities announced that they have upgraded the electronic parking meters downtown. And the new versions, well, first of all, they have a longer battery life. Secondly, they're accessible on your smartphone. And thirdly, they give you a refund for any time that's left on the meter after your car has been stolen. Let's see, how about medical news? Yeah, according to a study published in the journal Neurology, it takes 2 triggering mechanisms to initiate a migraine headache. 2 triggering mechanisms. That would be like, for example, a son and a daughter. And a medical oddity in New York, police are investigating the case of a man who just recently died from a knife wound, even though he was stabbed 50 years ago. Stabbed 50 years ago. And you know, the sad thing is, after 50 years, he was next in line at the ER. And speaking of the ER, the American Society of Dermatologists says that there are certain rashes for which you should immediately head to the emergency room. And they say there are other rashes for which you should immediately start thinking of an excuse to tell your spouse. And let's see, let's take a look at lifestyles. Yes, starting with the millennials, my favorite target and topic, young adults in their 20s and 30s. A recent article says that older people, such as ourselves, I guess, need to learn to work with the millennials because by the year 2020, millennials will be making up 50% of the workforce. And it is estimated that they will be doing 25% of the work. And North Korea last year released a 26-year-old American whom they had accused of spying, and they actually sentenced him to 6 years of hard labor. Of course, the U.S. government protested vehemently and pointed out that since the man was a millennial, Hard labor would have been a cruel and unusual punishment. And, oh yeah, LinkedIn. Any of you out there on LinkedIn? Apparently they recently did a survey and found that 70% of millennials said that if they had been fired, they would hide that fact when searching for a new job. Right? But the other 30% of millennials said that no, they would stick by their principles. Right? They would not be caught dead looking for a job. But getting older, I got to tell you, it's really got me bent out of shape. And I don't take a lot of comfort in these cute little lines that people throw at me and Hallmark puts on cards to make me feel better. For example, aging gracefully. Now I can see that many of you are indeed aging gracefully. But for me, I don't feel that way. For me, aging gracefully would be, you know, it's the same as Angelina Jolie walking in through my front door stark naked. In other words, it's a great concept, but it ain't gonna happen. And I gotta tell you, a true story. I did that line down on Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Royal Oak a while back, and I thought I'd have a little fun with a couple who was sitting by the stage, and I said, "Sir, I bet I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, who needs Angelina Jolie when you've got a beautiful woman like this to walk in through your front door stark naked, right?" And he said, "Not really, she's my mother." Talk about losing an audience. And the whole room went quiet as every man in the place started to flash on an image of his mother walking in through his front door stark naked. I guess half those guys are still in therapy. And then, there's that other cute phrase, let us grow old together. Yeah, you know, that wasn't some philosopher talking about love and life. No, it was the salesman down at the Sunshine Assisted Living Home talking about how they give discounts for double occupancy. The complete phrase is, let us grow old together, it's cheaper. And guys, don't make the mistake I made. You know, I don't know, once a while, ways back, my wife looked at me with dreamy eyes and said, let us grow old together. And I said, no, that's okay, you go ahead, I'll catch up later. 37 years of marriage, I still say all the wrong things. And then there's that time-worn phrase, the golden years. Sure, these are the golden years. These are the years we need to sell all our gold to pay our friggin' medical bills. They should be called the no more golden years. And speaking of medical bills, I can't begin to tell you all the health issues I've been facing as I've gotten older. Last fall, I went in for my annual physical, and I'm a strong believer in annual checkups. I make sure I get one every 3 years. And I went in, and the first thing the nurse does is she measures my weight and my height, and I see that she writes down 5'8". I said, wait a minute. I said, something's wrong here. I'm taller than that. And she said, no, sir. The fact is that as you get older, you shrink. I said, well, I know, but you didn't measure that part. How does that get interpreted? So then she gives me the EKG, you know, a fairly simple test. At EKG, she takes these adhesive-backed sensors and sticks them everywhere I have body hair. And then after the electronic gizmo does its thing, she yanks them off. And that's the true test of your heart, okay? If you don't go into cardiac arrest when she rips those suckers off along with half your body hair, your heart's good for another 100 years, I guarantee it. For example, Johnny Cash. Okay. Johnny Cash unfortunately died, 12 or 14 years ago. If he was still around today, he would be into his 80s. And if he was still singing that song, I Walk the Line, you all know that song, I keep a close watch on this heart of mine, I keep my eyes wide open all the time. If he were singing that song today, I think he should sing it with different words, something that's a little more age appropriate. So I'm going to sing for you, even though I can't sing. You've been warned, I can't sing, but I'm going to anyway. I'm going to sing the lyrics that I think he might use if he were around today. I keep a pacemaker on this heart of mine. I keep my eyeglasses with me all the time. I keep the men's room always on my mind. And I need wine to walk the line. not done yet. I find it very, very sleazy to be nude. I thank God I'm all alone, each day is through. Yes, I'll admit, I'm bald and wrinkled too, and I need wine to walk the line. I'm not sure if it is dark or if it's light. I gotta pee at least 3 times a night. And this crappiness I feel proves that I'm right. And I need wine to walk the line. The doc's got ways to keep me still alive, but he sends me lots of bills that I can't hide. And Medicare alone won't turn the tide. And I need wine to walk the line. I'd like to do one other song for you. Do we have any other Neil Diamond fans in here? Yeah. Good. Do you remember the duet he did with Barbra Streisand? You don't bring me flowers, you don't sing me love songs. You know, great, great duet. I'd like to sing that one for you with some age-appropriate lyrics. But because it's a duet, and I'm going to do the Neil part, I need a volunteer to come up here and help entertain by doing Barbra. Well, I'm going to let Jean.
Do you want to do it? Yeah, you want it? Go ahead.
Come on up. Well, the words are up here. First of all, you don't need to be able to sing. I proved that with Johnny Cash. And secondly, we're going to do senior version words that we have right here.
Go ahead.
So,
Go on.
come on up.
Go ahead. Yeah. There we go.
Okay. Okay, so here, what's your name?
Rondi.
Ronnie, do you know these people?
Some of them.
Well, I'll tell you, so some of them know you, but by the time we're done here, they're all going to know you. Does anybody have a singing voice I could borrow? Okay, so we're ready, and oh, by the way, so, better? Well, you just read everything twice that way. So this is You Don't Bring Me Flowers, but the new age appropriate song is You Don't Take a Shower.
You don't take a shower. You don't brush your teeth long.
You hardly comb your hair anymore or pick clothes off the floor at the end of the day.
I remember when you couldn't wait to clean up. You used to hate to stink up. Now we wear the same clothes day and night.
Well, they don't itch me, babe, and I'm feeling all right.
But there's still that odor and Michelob Light. You don't take a shower anymore.
It used to be so natural to talk about our hygiene, but used-to-be's don't count anymore, like your clothes on the floor till we sweep them away.
And baby, I remember all the things you taught me.
I learned how to wash, and I learned how to dry.
Well, you learned how to scrub and make soap out of lye. So you think I could learn how to send you outside? You don't take a shower anymore.
You don't pluck your eyebrows.
You don't trim your nose hair.
You don't wax your legs now.
You don't shave your whiskers.
You don't tweeze your chin hairs.
Where are we? You don't clip your toenail.
You don't wipe your nose good.
You don't clean your ears out.
You don't floss your molars.
You don't eat your breath mints.
You don't change your undies.
Oh my goodness. You don't even wear them.
You don't block your sneezes.
You don't sniffle your belches.
You don't put on perfume.
And you don't even use deodorant.
You don't wear your teddy.
And you don't even take your Viagra either.
You don't.
You don't take a shot